Welcome students to our physics classroom, and today we are going to learn how to add vectors. We are going to do some vector addition. In particular, we are going to explore this method called parallelogram rule. That's the method we are going to focus. We have two vectors to add. Vector A. Vector A has the size of, let's see, vector A has the size of 9 centimeters, and it is at 0 degrees with respect to the x-axis. And vector B has a magnitude of 8 centimeters at an angle of 60 degrees. Right? That's the two vectors we would like to add. So our job is to find the resultant. We are going to determine the resultant of adding vector A and B. We are looking for the sum of A and B. So your task to determine the resultant vector. Okay, in other words, we need to find the vector sum of A and B. So some people would say vector sum of vector A, we put an arrow here, and B, let's say, and B. That's our job. So we are going to start our procedure. First of all, it is advisable to draw the x-axis. Let's draw the x-axis. Draw my x-axis here. Draw x-axis. A dotted line all the way there. And the y-axis has to be perpendicular to the x-axis. Perpendicular to the x-axis. Try as much as possible to make it perpendicular. Okay, so that will be my perpendicular axis, y, and this one is x. And then I'm going to draw my first vector. It's 9 centimeters. 9 centimeters at 0 degrees. So 0 degrees is just along the x-axis. So I'll draw my vector here. From there, all the way to 9. So here, that's 9 centimeters at 0 degrees. The other vector, remember the other one was 8 centimeters at 60 degrees. I'm going to use a protractor to measure the angle 60 degrees. The center of the protractor has to be directly above the 0 point, the origin. And the line here, the 0 degrees line on the protractor has to line up with the x-axis on the paper. You do that, line up this, make sure the line is clear. There's a line here that goes all the way there, has to be lined up. And this has to be directly on the origin. Then you count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You put a dot there and bring your ruler and measure 8 centimeters from the origin, passing through the dot that you created. 8 is over there, so 8. So my 8 is right there. And then I need to complete the parallelogram. Remember, this is a parallelogram rule, so I need to complete the parallelogram. I'm going to transfer this vector here. Let me point it this vector. Transfer it all the way parallel to itself until it is starting from the tip of the of the 9 centimeters vector. So we are just transferring this like this all the way there. First of all, I need to know the angle. The angle can be measured. It has to be the same. Remember, this was 60 degrees. I forgot to write 60 degrees, and I forgot to write that this is 8 centimeters here. And let's have our angle here. That's line up from the tip of the 9 centimeters vector. That's our new origin all the way there. Then it has to be straight line. Then count to 60 degrees. 60 is here because we want to transfer the 8 centimeters vector. Then bring your ruler and draw 8 centimeters from the tip of the next vector. So 8 centimeters. All right, so I'll draw my 8 centimeters there all the way to, usually it's better to use dotted line. I forgot. So dotted line, all of this has to be dotted line. And that will be your 8 centimeters there, dotted line. Okay, when you do that, you realize that you have the same 8 centimeters here, and this is 60 degrees here, 60 degrees. And then you can now connect this point and this point, because now you want to complete a parallelogram. That's the idea. You want to complete a parallelogram, so connect it. Oh, again, I forgot. This has to be dotted line. All right, so that's a dotted line there, pointing this direction. And finally, you draw the resultant. Where is this one? Okay, let me cover my marker. Okay. The resultant is the diagonal. The diagonal starts from the origin there and all the way there. This diagonal is the resultant you are looking for. That's the resultant vector that you are looking to get. Now you can actually measure this line and see how long it is. So I'll try to measure it here, and I get what? Well, about 14. Yeah, close to, if I can be as accurate as possible, I can see this is close to, well, close to 15 or 14.8 maybe. So this is a 14 14.8, something like that. All right, because I mean, this is your resultant there, and also you need to tell me the angle. You need to tell me the angle. So bring your protractor and measure the angle. So the angle here tells us the it is what? It is let's see, 10, 20. This looks like if I can be at the zero, okay, line. This looks like 29 degrees. Looks like 29 degrees. Well, kind of like 28. So something like 28 degrees. 28 degrees. Okay, so the result can be reported as follows. Resultant is what? So the resultant is, as you can see, let's use this one. The resultant is 14.8 centimeters at 28 degrees. So you have this as your resultant vector. We can try to, let's try to actually verify this using a vector addition calculator, which we can use online and see how accurate we were. So I'll try to share my vector addition calculator. So this is the vector additional calculator. You can find it online. Let me see. Yeah, vector addition calculator. You can use this website here to find the vector addition calculator. And I hope I'm sharing my screen. Okay. And let's see. Yeah, here we are going to put our vectors. Remember, we had vector 1 had a magnitude of 9 at 0 degrees, and the other vector had magnitude of 8 at 60 degrees. Then we can calculate to see what we get. The result is 14.73 and 28.05. We were very close. The results we see there, they are very close to what we see here. All right, so the results are actually similar. So take a look at that. The results we see from the vectors. So I don't know if you can see what I'm sharing here, but I'll stop sharing now. But these are the results we get. Let me write them down here in case you weren't able to see what I'm sharing. From the online calculator, we got resultant as 14.731 and centimeters at an angle of 28. Let me stop sharing this one so you can see what I'm writing. Okay, so that's the online calculator. We saw that we got this as magnitude. The angle was, do I still have the angle? Let me see. The angle was 28 actually, 28. So pretty close, So the angle was 28 degrees. So our result makes sense. All right, so I'll give you another example so you can have a better idea of how to add vectors using the parallelogram rule. Okay, so here is our final work. We started from here, vector addition. I hope you can see this, and then all the way to there. Okay, I'll stop here. If you have any questions, please let me know.